Hey everybody, welcome to another 902 gaming video. Today I just wanted to kind of do a follow-up video to my last one where I talked about Classic quite a bit. Still no beta invite, so I did participate in this stress test. It is up on my, when I open Battle.net, the option is there, but unfortunately the play button has been grayed out, so I won't be able to do any of that. So I just recorded some footage with Druid that I'm trying to level on retail. And the only thing I wanted to talk about today, I want to try to make a shorter video today if I can, is just about the conversation again that people seem to have about changes to Classic or no changes to Classic. And I think if anything were to come up, I think if any bugs were to come up, I think obviously they should fix them. I think that this whole layering situation that I've seen recently pop up isn't very good either. Something I understand that they say they want to use for the for launch day and stuff like that, but I don't think this is something that they should do. Fortunately, they're not going to listen to me anyway. But yeah, so just to kind of go over what I talked about at my last video. Just mention something about how I think they should do post Naxx content, but I don't think that they will. I think they should. That's what they should do, and give us basically a whole new game. Although there have been some arguments made about how, essentially that's what the Burning Crusade tried to do, is just try to expand on the game and make it better. Unfortunately, I think the Burning Crusade did take the game in a good direction. Eventually the game, because of that need to constantly raise the level of your character and improve your character and make the character more powerful, they ended up getting where they are now. So if you go to WoW Classic and you release TBC, the next logical step is for them to release Wrath of the Lich King, and then when they release Wrath of the Lich King, then it's Cataclysm, and then we get into the problem. We're already back where we are, right? We're a few years away. And they may not care about that because I'm sure people will come back for Burning Crusade. I'm sure people will come back for Wrath of the Lich King as well and play those again, because that's where the majority of players were. They didn't start falling off until I think it was Mist of Pandaria. Like even Cataclysm still started having a decline, but I think the big decline was in Mist of Pandaria, where it seemed like they weren't taking the game very seriously. I think to a lot of players, at least for me, that's what it was. I'd fallen off in Cataclysm anyway. I burned out in Wrath of the Lich King, so Cataclysm really wasn't, after spending so much time in Wrath of the Lich King, grinding and leveling and trying to gear out my main, who I'd switched to a Death Knight at that point, for it to all be gone as soon as Cataclysm came out, I was like, I spent all this time and I just have to do it again, and that's sort of what it felt like. So I think with Classic, I think they have to find a way to not do that. And like I mentioned before, and I'll try not to retread from my last video, I think that they just need to scale us horizontally. Whether it's through new tier gear, whether it's taking old instances or areas that were never used and repurposing them for somehow. Whether it's even I think the biggest mistake they can make is raising the level cap. I think that's mainly what I wanted to talk about today. Was I don't want them to raise the level cap. I don't think that's a good idea whatsoever. Raising the level cap wouldn't solve the problem, and I think you're going to eventually get to where we are now in retail and BFA and stuff. I haven't played BFA at all. This is BFA here that I'm playing with my Druid, but it's not the same. Like when I played Classic for the small amount of time that I got to stress test, and playing multiple characters in retail, it's not the same feeling. You don't get the same feeling of progression. Like the gear is not the same. You do a quest and then you go to another area, you do another quest, and the loot's exactly the same. So there's no need to go anywhere, but once you reach level 15 is just to start hitting the dungeon finder and then try to do quests in between, or just find an area and just kill mobs over and over and over again until you level up. Or you buy the boost, which, let's face it, I think that's what they want you to do, and then just do the end game content, and then that's it, and then you wait for each patch to come out, and none of that stuff's appealing to me. Like I if there was a way for me to subscribe just to Classic alone, that's what I would do, but that's fine. I mean, I'll probably sneak into retail every now and again. I don't really want to level my characters up any further. There's rumors of now, I guess, a level squish coming, and they may do what they see Classic is doing, and basically only ever have the cap at 60, and then just release new sets of gear, new things every so often with every new patch. I don't know if that's true or not. Supposedly it is. I guess we're gonna find out. But the big thing is to the one thing that I did want, again, what I wanted to focus on was not if they should do it, because like I've said in the last video, I said that, you know, I'm almost 99% certain that they're going to go with the Burning Crusade eventually with Classic. There's no doubt in my mind that that's what they're going to do. They may keep a Classic server. They may not. They may force everybody into a Burning Crusade situation where there's no Classic again, and just move everybody into Burning Crusade. I think that would be a huge mistake if they were ever to do that. I think they would have to keep one server just for Classic, and not have it Burning Crusade. Just have the cap at 60, and let you. Well, I mean, I could see them. You could pay to transfer to a server. You know, take your level 60 character, transfer it to a server with Burning Crusade on it, so you can level them, but you still have your character in the Classic if you want to keep them there, and then you also have one in Burning Crusade. I could see them monetizing it that way. And that's another thing that I kind of wanted to talk about. The way the industry is kind of working now, and you can look at it now with BFA, they're definitely they're going to try to find a way to monetize Classic. I don't think it's just going to be the subscription model. If the current subscriber count, the last theorized subscriber count to retail WoW right now is roughly, I think it was like 2.5 to 3 million. I think with Classic, I think a few more people subscribe, so it could be up to about 4. And once Classic comes out, I'm sure it'll probably hit between the 5 and 6 million mark. But it might not. It's hard to say. But I think eventually what's going to end up happening with that is the people are going to drift off. Like, people will fall off of it and stuff like that. And if there's not enough subscriptions to hold the game up, they will turn to some sort of live service model with Classic. They're already kind of doing it. You know, the whole thing about releasing content every so often is just a scheme to get you to you know, play longer, obviously, and pay longer, which, again, that's fine. I don't have a problem with the way they're going to deal with the content drops. It's going to follow a similar pattern to retail, which is why I say that, you know, like I said before, that they're going to do Burning Crusade anyway. But the big concern of mine is how they're going to monetize Classic, aside from basically just trying to keep everybody subscribed until the final piece of content comes out, which is Naxx in, I think it's like phase 5, phase 6. And what they're going to do after that. So my guess is that Naxx, we won't see Naxx. If Classic is coming out in August of this year, we won't see Naxx until we'll probably won't see Naxx until, I would say, the beginning of 2021. That's a long ways away, and that's, you know, they'll keep everybody basically subscribed. Well, it might not. I mean, that plan might not work out so well, because, I mean, a lot of people, they have a subscription, they won't cancel it. You never know, I might want to hop on again or whatever, and, you know, some people will pay for a full year. I don't think we're going to see Naxx in the first year at all. I firmly stand by that fact. I don't see us getting Naxx before August of next year. You know, it was almost, I want to say close to 2 years, 2.5 years before Burning Crusade came out, and Naxx came out 6 months before that, roughly. So I don't see us getting that. So that could be one way that they monetize, basically to keep everybody subscribed, waiting for the content to drop, you know. But, you know, savvy people will just play until they can't play anymore. They can't progress their character anymore, probably drop off, and then come back again. it's still a way to monetize it. And like I said, I could easily see them doing. They'll still have realm transfers that you'll have to pay for. I'm sure they're going to have name changes that you can pay for. Although people are saying, part of Classic is the reputation that you build as a certain character, as your character's name. So maybe they won't do that. But I think they will. I don't think they're going to have a store at first. I could easily see a store coming in later. But it's hard to say. I think when Burning Crusade is released, they might try to chuck a store in. I think the first mount was in Cataclysm. I think the first paid mount was Cataclysm. So I don't know. I don't know about the store and stuff like that. I don't know what they're going to do with that. But I can guarantee they're going to be charging for realm transfers and name changes and stuff like that. They do want some way to monetize it besides the subscription model, because people will fall off and on and stuff like that. And there is a lot of people that will want to do that stuff. They may, depending on how many servers they actually have, they may want to, transfer, oh, buddy just joined or something, or I just met somebody that he's playing on this realm. And, I think paid server transfers was something that they wanted originally anyways, or to be able to transfer servers, or for people to be able to transfer servers. As for what else they could possibly do, I could see them instituting a heroic version of the current dungeons that they have. I mean, we already have an instance where, I'm level 43, I think, in this video here. And I'm going through, Scholomance, Scholomance, whatever. And there could be a way that they could have at 60 where you can go back to these dungeons and have level 60 versions of whatever loot drops. I could see them doing that, like basically having a heroic version of these. They already do it now in live or retail. So it's something that shouldn't be very difficult for them to do. I could see them doing that, and just the gear would be slightly better. Maybe there's, they do get stats on them. I don't think they need to do very much to the gear that already drops in Classic for these instances and stuff. But that's another possibility. That's something they could also do. Rather than create new content, you can just repurpose old content. And I think one of the things that I did like about retail is this setup, and only for the instances. I don't like the world travel where you go from one zone to the next zone. Everything's your level. There's no sense of progression. There's no sense of power build up. That's something that they need to avoid. But I think that at level 60, I think they could easily do these instances even after Naxx is released. Obviously, they can go back to these instances and create a heroic mode, and basically use the technology and whatever they use for retail, and use it for the instances then. So basically, in other words, once you turn 60, after Naxx comes out, you can go do dead mines at 60, and all the mobs are 61 or 62, and you can even make them 10 mans, whatever you whatever you wanted to do. There's no, the sky's the limit with that stuff. That would also be a cheap way for them to create content. They wouldn't have to create anything new. They would just have to repurpose old stuff. So I think that's something that they should look into. I don't think they need to create anything new. That's also if they don't go Burning Crusade, which, like I said before, I think they're definitely going to go Burning Crusade. There's no reason they wouldn't. There's no reason they wouldn't charge maybe $30 for the expansion or whatever. Basically keep it the same way as retail, where every 2 years or whatever it is, a new expansion comes out, and you buy the new expansion, you play the content. Only time will tell. They obviously want to make money, and I don't fault them for that. I don't even fault them for the store necessarily, because I've bought stuff off the store. When the store first came out, I had no problems buying a mount. I was like, this is pretty awesome. Like, I don't care. I can get a mount. I can get tabards or whatever else they had at the time. I had no problem with that. I was playing it. I didn't mind supporting it over and above. I think when they ruined the gameplay, basically everything is the same. Everything feels the same. I think that's when they lost me. It depends. I don't know if they even have thought of where they're going to go with Classic. I think they just focused on releasing it, and I think most companies are like that now. They only think about, let's get it out, see how it does, see what kind of money we can make from it, see if we get subscribers back, and then kind of go from there. And then we make decisions then. We don't have to admit anything or say anything. Well, I think this is where I die. But anyway, I'm a pretty big WoW player. I always was. I played WoW for a long time. I haven't always been a subscriber. I did quit from probably the end of middle of Cataclysm, beginning of Cataclysm. I did come back in Mists of Pandaria for a little bit. Hated it. Hated Mists of Pandaria. I didn't raid or anything yet, so I don't know what it was like for other people that did. Maybe it was good. I can only speak from what I experienced. I didn't like it. Then I came back for Warlords of Draenor, and I absolutely hated that. That was probably the worst thing that I still don't think it was worse than Cataclysm, but I did come back for Warlords of Draenor for a little bit. Didn't really like it. Dropped off again. Didn't come back until close to the end of Legion. So that was probably my biggest stint away from playing WoW, was when I came back for Warlords of Draenor and then left and then came back in Legion. And Legion, like I said in the last video, I don't want to regurgitate stuff here, but I love Legion. I love what it was trying to do, and stuff. And I didn't get into it in the beginning, so I did miss the early artifact grind. So maybe I wouldn't have liked it as much, but when I actually got it and I was actually playing it, the artifact grind wasn't too bad. So I mean, that's why I liked it, and maybe that's the way it should have been in the beginning. Do some prep videos for when Classic comes out. I plan on streaming it. My stream is up over there. My stream hasn't actually been on here, but anyway, it's Stuffman902 on Twitch. So you can check me out there. I don't stream very often anymore. I'm kind of just waiting for Classic to come out, and I'm probably going to stream it nonstop every day. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about for this video. Like the video if you liked it, thumb it down. If you didn't like it, you can follow me if you want to. Follow me on Twitter up there as well if you want. I don't tweet out very often, but I do if I'm going to stream or when I post a video and stuff like that. So just enjoy the rest of this bit of Sholomance. I'm just towards the end here now, so and I'll see you guys on the next one.
If you haven't come to study, I'll use you to teach unless school is in session.
Do I just wait? I guess I can wait. We'll sit quietly here and just watch. It's thrilling. This is an instant that I cannot wait to get back to. I loved the original Sholomance. I absolutely loved it. It was amazing. I'm so excited for Classic. I'm so excited for this to come out. You actually have to lockpick the door, get the key, do the quest to get the key. It's crazy. It's crazy how much you actually need to do to get into Sholomance. It was so fun. There was bosses in each of these that you had to clear out. There was bosses in the top rooms, top level there that you had to clear out. Now you just get to the end. It's just one boss that's, everything's DPS check, basically. There's no mechanics. There's no... I guess that's the way it was in Classic too. But yeah, alright guys. Have a good one. Remember, follow me on Twitter if you want to. Follow the YouTube channel if you want to. And I'll see you guys on the next one.